All right, for those of you who may or may not know, Starfield gameplay pretty much leaked. I suggest you don't go and watch that, and you probably maybe watch the Starfield Direct, which is what I'm playing here on the screen, because actually this has a lot more detail than that leaked gameplay. However, there's a lot of conversation going on right now online as to what it is people have seen, and the reactions are actually quite strange and quite weird overall. Now, the truth of the matter is, there's really no reason to start to talk about what this leak entailed and, all of this stuff because, like I said, there's just no need to go find it. This Starfield Direct has more detail and content that, you pretty much have seen. And if you've seen this particular showcase, I don't think there's much more that you need to see anymore regarding the game itself. What's actually quite interesting in the entire conversation, nonetheless, is the fact that a lot of people are talking about it, and I think their reactions really do speak to the expectations or at least the anticipation for this game overall. I, for one, have one reason that really kind of drew me into the entire conversation, and that is the fact that the game has a third-person emphasis. The game also has a PC version where it's not locked down to a console exclusive, so the performance on PC is going to vary, and we're probably going to be able to get ourselves anything more than 30 FPS, which is something that the reactions actually brought up, that this game is going to be 30 FPS and so on and so forth. Look at the gameplay, that was leaked and blah, blah, but in reality, the gameplay in the showcase did show us that it was going to be 30 FPS. So I think, again, this is just something where people want to probably be somewhat contentious in a sense, but I don't necessarily think that that's going to actually fly. Why? Because we've been given a lot of information in the time that, the developers have done their marketing. The only thing that we are short of right now is to pretty much have the game release or drop any moment now. To be very honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I know Starfield already has a release date in place, but I don't think it's going to be a bad idea if we got an early release, but I don't think that's likely. I think that's just me, my wishful thinking, because you have to deal with physical copies and so on and so forth. Also, the reactions as well that have actually shown the anticipation of this seem to be coming from all sides of the aisle. And what I mean by that is, if you actually distill the conversation down to people who have maybe in a sense hedged their bets with, say, one console or the other, I think there is a consensus that this game is going to be very pivotal for Bethesda, very pivotal for Microsoft and Xbox. But here's one theme that you're probably not going to be seeing a lot of, and that's a lot of people who are on the PlayStation side, who are open-minded, actually being willing to try this game themselves. I have seen comments, I have seen expressions of people saying, you know what, I think I'm going to go ahead and get myself this game to play. Some people have a PlayStation and a PC. Some people decided, you know what, I'll buy myself a small Xbox console here or a Series S or maybe even a full-blown Xbox Series X, and I'll give this game a try because I think it's just a game that has the capability of doing something like this. And I think this is probably as a result of all that we've seen, transpire over the course of the years. Because many of you remember this game was possibly going to be a timed exclusive for PlayStation. And this is one of the reasons that Microsoft went in with $7 billion to lock down the entire publisher so that they could lock down this game as a result of Sony's practices, which is very aggressive more than anything else. I mean, would I call it anti-competitive? To an extent, almost. But again, Microsoft was not sitting there as some helpless, producer of, digital content. In fact, Microsoft was very capable of being in the game, but they probably ignored Xbox for the longest time. And then when they decided, they put down money. So it's not like I feel bad for Microsoft. They seem to have the money to take care of themselves. They're over here trying to make an expenditure of $69 billion that, in my opinion, they don't need, to be honest. I don't think they need Activision to be able to make things happen. But I think they really wanted to kind of press at the heart of what Sony had actually held very sacred, which is its ability to lock down third-party deals and make a lot of money from Call of Duty. And Microsoft wanted to pretty much strike at the heart of that at any rate. So it's a competitive gesture anyways. Sony was getting super aggressive. They didn't necessarily take, multiple or multi-dimensional approach to try to hedge their, platform. They went full-blown. We're going to weigh on all these other publishers with our numbers of consoles and see whom we can get on our team. but it seems like Microsoft decided to, push back with some cash, and, cash usually speaks in volumes. But it's really interesting to see what's going on. We've also seen a lot of people talk about different ships, like the Millennium Falcon and all kinds of different, aircrafts that people are building in the game is really driving anticipation as to what the creativity is going to look like. So it appears to me that this is going to be this open world sandbox that a lot of people would not mind, especially people coming from Fallout, coming from Elder Scrolls, coming from maybe even Star Citizen, because there are people like that, maybe people coming from No Man's Sky. It really does resonate with a lot of folk. And even though some have claimed, oh, it seems like Starfield pretty much just adopted No Man's Sky's theory or its own concept, imitation is the best form of flattery. I guess it means that No Man's Sky is truly the game that it turned out to become. After its failed launch, it eventually was able to get itself off the ground and become this sustainable, game itself. And Starfield is piggybacking off of that need in the industry for somebody to bring out a game that actually met those things that No Man's Sky actually did promise. Multiple planets, being able to visit them, multiple worlds, being able to, join factions. I mean, just all of this stuff that you probably would never have realized at the time No Man's Sky was actually disappointing fans with not delivering these things. So it's actually pretty cool to see all of this come full circle. I really would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section, because you can look away from Starfield, or you can probably maybe you're not interested in the game, but I mean, at the end of the day, how do you perceive the game's presence right now in this release cycle of video games having been delayed, further down the road? And if you're of the mind that, you actually are looking forward to this game, let me hear your thoughts as well about, all that has transpired in the past 24 hours. Thanks so much for watching the video. I appreciate you guys' time and audience. And, let me hear your thoughts again, like I said. And if you want to stay tuned to some Starfield content, make sure you dial into the Gamer Dad channel. Thanks again. Peace out.